And we are live. Finally. Welcome to episode 282 of An American Werewolf. I am Michael Martin, the American Werewolf. In the house tonight, we've got way better dead than red. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
You got it. And we've got John K. Alvarez. So you guys have been here pretty much through 282 episodes. So Thank you for sticking with it. Here we are. This is a little bit past, well, not past my bedtime, but I've got a little, I'm off tomorrow, so I'm having a little espresso cream energy drink. So that's carrying me through the rest of the stream here.
Nice.
Okay. I thought he was having an adult beverage for a second.
No, that would put me to sleep. That would put me back to sleep. I was saying the other day, I was telling somebody at work, like I go to concerts nowadays in the middle of the week, this, that, and the other. But, I mean, shit, when I get to the bar, I order a Red Bull so I don't fall asleep and I can make it back home to drive, you know? Like I'm not hooting it up with, like at the bar, Nah, rack me with a Red Bull, man.
Well, welcome to 50.
If you're self-aware, you hear that alarm go off, go, bing. You're not a child anymore.
Oh, God. I was at this place a couple of weeks ago, and they had my favorite beers out there. It was Pabst Blue Ribbon, the Tall Boys. And I'm like, oh, man, I can't. But I wanted to really bad. Plus, I had to drive all the way the fuck back home from Philadelphia. So, it's not going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
But,
Yeah, that's a good move.
Yeah,
those are what the alcoholics used to drink. They buy them at 8:00 in the morning when I worked at a liquor store outside of Ocean City.
man. If you get me, a 6-pack of Tall Boys of PBR, I am a happy camper. And every once in a while, I'll even smoke a $1 cigar. So I have those cheap tastes, man.
That's when we should do a podcast.
Beer and cigars.
Tall Boys.
Cigars and Tall Boys, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe anybody can bring an adult beverage at any time or any beverage that they want to. They can smoke anything they want to. But maybe we should have a show where just, everybody brings, like a cigar and a beer or some sort of beverage to the stream.
A matching drink with the movie.
So what the fuck? It's not like anybody's going to check our ID anymore.
I'm not to keep doing it on a Tuesday. I got to get
it. Well, you don't have to have 12 of them, man. You can have one, You lush.
These musicians.
You just can't take them anywhere.
Number.
So, this is the unfunniest comedy I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I didn't really find it funny at all. I couldn't shake the feeling that I was like looking behind the curtain at Legion. Like you're just like, what the fuck is this? This is awful. This is terrible. I'm talking about Armando Iannucci's The Death of Stalin. So if you guys are ready, shall we get it going?
Go,
on you, baby.
Boogie, boogie.
Somewhere in this town, see me in the
So I'm a first-time viewer of this film, and I should mention that this film is currently available on Tubi, and it seems like it should be mandatory viewing for pretty much anyone in the Western world, because guess what? Socialism and communism are back, and people are literally trying to fucking overthrow. You've got these moronic college students who, will tell you dead to your face, and I've met many of them, that wasn't real communism. We need to do it a little differently this time. And you're just like, I'm going to hit you in the head with a fucking racquetball racket if you don't shut up. But it's a perfect example that fools can be very fucking dangerous.
Right.
And there are a lot of them. And go through any social media timeline, turn on the news. The whole thing with wordplay. I mean, it's been the past 10 years of our lives here. And this is coming from, until very recently, a lifelong Democrat. I'm not some, William F. Buckley conservative. I wasn't a Reaganite or anything like that. It's just everybody about 10 years ago seemed to have gone fucking crazy, or a lot of people did. But Here's the thing that turned this really dark for me. And it was a video I saw a couple of days ago, and of all places, it was on fucking TikTok. And if you're wondering why I'm on TikTok, I wanted to see what it was about. I follow like maybe 10 people, but in social media, you see a lot of videos that come through other feeds from TikTok. So if I access them directly, so on and so forth, I saw this. So this is going to take about 60 seconds. Here I go.
Well, you got to ask yourself, if you're not speaking the truth, who is it that's talking? If you're saying something that you do not believe to be true, it's not you talking. It's something else. It might be the part of you that wants to manipulate the other person into delivering what you think you want from them. Well, what is that spirit of manipulation that you've allowed to possess you? It's not you. Let's say you decide to live your whole life in that instrumental manner. You're going to craft your words like the student who says, well, I'm going to write what the professor wants to hear so I get the grade. It's like, well, you just turn yourself into that. Well, who is it that's doing that manipulating? It's not you, because those aren't your words. So even if you get the grade, it's not you that got the grade. It's the false you. It's the manipulative you. So you do that your whole life. You don't have your life. And then you think, well, God, that was a miserable life. I manipulated everybody. They were so damn stupid. They were sucked in by it. They're all contemptible. Everyone does it, which they don't, by the way. And so that's a pathway to bitterness.
So,
good old Jordan P.
Yeah, I saw that a couple of days ago, and then I watched this movie and I realized, holy shit, like it's a whole country of people. That just aren't using their own voices. So I want to start out with my question to both of you. I'm going to ask, of course, for your initial thoughts on the movie, but then I'm going to ask you, where do the voices come from? I have some idea. Where they come from. But I'm going to hit each of you with that. Let's go with Way Better Dead Than Red.
All right. I guess I saw this movie when it first came out in the theaters, and I fucking loved it. I sat in that theater and giggled like a crazy person, and the people around me had no idea what I was giggling at. But the reason is because A, I fucking hate communists. B, I fucking hate socialists. And C, I studied this shit when I was in college. When I went for a history degree, I drilled down really hard on the Cold War and did my senior thesis on the Cold War. And then when I went back to college and got a communications degree, I specialized in propaganda and went right back to the well, studying the Soviet Union in the era when the Soviet Union had fallen and they were disclosing all of the files that we never had for 50, 60, 70 years while the Soviet Union was around. So the reason I love this movie is, number one, it is extremely historically accurate. There are some things they did to streamline the movie, which you always get in a historical film, but every single thing in this movie happened. It's not made up. The only thing that didn't really happen at Stalin's funeral, there wasn't a massacre of 1,500 people. But other than that, every single thing, every farce, every ridiculous thing, every premise in this movie actually has a reason you can laugh at it is because there's no other way to react to it. That evil is that fucking powerful. I recently read The White Pill by Michael Malice, a guy who grew up in the Soviet Union, and he is constantly saying people in the West do not understand evil. They do not grasp what kind of a system this was, what a place this was to live in, because we've never experienced it. We've always lived our lives with a certain amount of freedom. People do not understand the fear and the brainwashing and the absolute just being frozen in a place that was so evil and run by such degenerate, evil motherfuckers. So this movie, it's brilliant. I love Iannucci. I love Veep. He is fantastic. His humor comes a mile a minute, and every time I see this movie, and I've seen it a dozen or more times, I hear new things because there's so many layered jokes in this movie. I haven't even taken it all in, and I watched it just before we did this, and I'm still picking up on little things. It's such a brilliant movie.
So where do the voices come from?
Where do the voices come from? It comes from straight up evil and contending with evil. And when you are on the line, you will, you're going to say those things because you have to, or you are dead. That's the premise the movie starts out with. You're in the middle of this situation where, they're talking about how many minutes passed. I have to call back Stalin in 17 minutes. He can't call him back in 18 minutes. He can't call him back in 16 minutes. It has to be 17 minutes. And he lost track. Was it 30 seconds or a minute? That's not made up. People would be killed for stupid shit like that.
Was it 17 minutes when he said it, or was it 17 minutes after the phone call?
Right.
That made me laugh out loud.
But that is the general sort of situation that these innocent people are finding themselves in because of the pervasive evil of communism, of the Soviet Union, and this fucking evil dipshit Stalin that was ruling over them.
All right. John, what do you got for us? What'd you think of the movie? Had you seen it before? And where are the voices coming from?
This was the first time I've seen it. Okay. I heard about it, never saw it, and after watching it, could kick myself for missing it. I've always liked a good black satire or a black comedy, as a couple of people said. Like one of my other favorite movies is Dr. Strangelove, which I think is more accurate than they're willing to let on. But the point about it is the overlaying of the jokes that just make it sound casual conversation is brilliant in this film.
Yep.
There's an old style of doing comedy. An elder director told me, he said, don't play the joke, play the intention. And that's what they did in this. They believed, I think, everything they were saying, even though they were actors in it. That's what made it work. That's what actually made you dive into the farce when you're looking back at it going, oh my God, because as Dead Red said, I'm going to keep it simple. This is what they were. And then to poke the humor at it, the satire at it, is what makes it go down easier for people who aren't used to it, who have no world of that. It wasn't like a Mel Brooks where he's spoofing Hitler type deal, where he really just goes to ridicule. This was really showing you how the world was and then how foolish it could be, or how foolish it was.
This
That
movie
we live
was,
in an era where people gotten up in arms over Hogan's Heroes. You know, how dare you do the wacky Nazis? They're so they're so overly hand wringing and pearl clutching about Nazis in the last 5-6 years that they really drove Hogan's Heroes reruns off of TV. You know, you can barely find them. You know, but they did the same thing with Death of Stalin, where it's so farcical that you can laugh at abject evil.
John, where did the voices come from?
I don't know. Like when you said that, I was sitting there thinking to myself, I haven't figured that out yet. Personally, I think the voice can come from not just from their world, but from ours, because we're hearing the opposite side of it. You have a lot of people, like when I was growing up and you would see something on the news, everybody had an opinion of it. And if you actually listen to everybody's opinion, I always wondered if they were watching the same thing I was watching, because it was something different from each person.
So the Rashomon
I think
effect.
the voices comes from each individual, who they are, or or how they view it, type deal. Like Bill talks about. I'm sorry, Dead Red.
No, go right ahead.
Said you liked them, loved the movie so much, and you said you had a difficult time with it. To me, I caught it right away, but then again, I'm a dialogue-driven type person. You know, when I write stuff, first thing I thought was this would make a great play. I would love to see this on stage.
Yes.
You know, in a minimalist form.
Okay. Yeah, first time viewer here. I didn't have difficulty with it because I just found I had difficulty with it because I find it so disturbing.
Okay.
And so I didn't find it to be funny in that sense. Like I saw what was underneath it. I understand, like maybe it would have been less disturbing, or I don't know. I find it to be more disturbing than most Third Reich films that I've seen. Whether it was like The Scarlet and the Black, or like Schindler's List, or maybe one or two that were just super graphic.
Right.
But it's extraordinarily disturbing to me. The way everybody worked with the use of words to frame everything that they said in a way that made sure that they sort of tied themselves next to someone else.
Yep.
Like, that's the insurance policy of what I'm going to say, because because we're in majority, just like this person said over here yesterday. So therefore I think this, or, the way everybody would stab each other in the back, just the bald face betrayals in day-to-day conversation where the guy's like, he tells Khrushchev, yeah, you remember you said that in the bathroom last night, and he's just like, you're like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
Right.
It's like this, it's like office politics in hell.
Yes.
It really is, like literally in hell. So to me, the voices based especially on the video that I showed a minute ago, I just think they come straight out of hell.
Right.
Okay.
I just think it's just straight out of hell. Every word is designed to, there's no truth whatsoever. And I just love that there was one character in there that spoke the truth, who was the female piano player.
Yes,
and
thank you.
She just coincidentally happened to be the only person there who had faith.
Right.
She's like, I have eternal life. You killed my brother. Yeah. You've killed my father. You killed all my friends.
Right.
She was a real person. She really did smuggle a letter to Stalin. It wasn't worded as harshly as the one in the movie, but she did say, you're going to hell. I'm going to pray to God to forgive you. And
I'm sure he got a job down there, as did most of those people. They, it's like that old Sam Kinison skit where he goes to hell and then they find out he's been married. So they're like, oh.
Twice.
Okay, well, we'll give you a tour. This is where we torture the soul, and then they find out he's been married twice. Like, you want a job down here or something? Like, what is it?
The worst part is that he was going to be a priest.
Stalin.
He was in the seminary for years before he became a radical in the party
communist
apparatchik.
Lord Almighty. Now, just to quote JP again, Jordan Peterson, he said, Satan is an evil clown. And when things go full totalitarian, they become a parody.
Right.
They become a fucking parody, which is exactly what happened starting off. You've got to redo the whole concert. And not only do you have to redo the whole concert, people have to come in and sit down and watch it again.
And if you can't get them, find people on the street.
Find people on the street, because God forbid, like Stalin would know that the fucking acoustics were off.
Yes, and that actually happened because no one wanted to die. They pulled people off the street. They redid a recording that wasn't recorded. That's a for real incident. It's not a farce. It actually happened. This is how evil it was, is that people would go through great lengths to avoid being killed for dumb reasons just because of the system that they were involved in.
What did you guys think of the guy who played Stalin?
I mean, he did an okay job. He's sort of
an afterthought.
Peace outs right away. It's not the Stalin that's the problem. It's the fact that he's out and he's dead. And this vacuum
I think part of the problem is that he set up a system where they're, even after he's dead, they're afraid to change the system.
Right.
That system was in place long before he took over.
Right.
That's true too. That's true too.
I love the fact, and I don't know if this was the director's choice or if it was the actor's choice, when Stalin is reading the letter, he starts laughing.
Yeah.
Like he finds amusement in it before he has the stroke or the aneurysm.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
it was too much for his.
I remember thinking, what a bizarre choice, and it worked. Like he found humor in, what are you going to do to me? What can you do to me? And then all of a sudden, boom.
He found out very quickly. Yeah.
Very quickly, yeah.
Yeah. Hold on a second. We got a comment here. We've got MaryCot46. She says, hey, nice stream. Your stream's so nice. I would really love to join your next stream with friends if you don't kindly add me on Discord. So I am on Discord. Okay, I'll check you out on there, MaryCot. Thanks for stopping in. I did advertise this on my Discord. I'm on the Nerdrotic Discord and the Nerd Cookies Discord and the Molar Discord. So I try to self-promote the show out there. And every once in a while, a person or two from Discord reaches out. So that's always cool.
So you're discorded is what you're saying.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah,
exactly. You took the words right out of my mouth. So
there you go.
But there are levels to this.
Oh yeah.
You know, and there are levels to. There are people who are participating, and you get the sense of maybe if they had a choice, they would want to be. You know, you got the people at the bottom that are in the prisons, and they give you like a sort of comedic tour of the prisons between the shootings and the beatings and the rapes. You know, and those are the people on the bottom, and then you got the soldiers that are there. And then you got, maybe it seems like some soldiers that don't want to be there. And then you get into the upper circles, where you got your citizenry, like in the streets, like that conductor, when they come to break the door down, and he's like, just tell them anything that, live, just tell them what they want to hear, like he's trying to, save his wife's life, not knowing that they just want him to fucking conduct the next, concerto. But then
I love the way they worded. You're a great conductor and the closest one.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I loved the wordplay on this. Was really, really well done.
Well, it's like the doctors. They probably shot all the good maestros. When it comes time for the doctors, there are no doctors. Why they killed all the good fucking doctors? And then you get to the upper levels, and that's where it really starts to like the evil is like.
One thing about the levels, though, don't forget. There's that great scene where Beria and Stalin's daughter are up in the balcony looking down at the funeral procession and all the peasants coming in. And she goes, no one made them come here.
Yeah.
So even the people down at the bottom are participating. They might not know all the information, but they're patriots. They are doing it because Stalin improved the country in ways that they never thought would happen. He fought off the Nazis, but they're still in this evil thing They're still
Right.
participating and showing their patriotism but fear at the same time. It's a weird situation that they're in.
It reminds me of every time you see those people weeping in North Korea.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they have no fucking idea what they're really weeping about. You know, because they're so disconnected from the rest of the world. Like there's just a information like it's total information blackout.
Mm-hmm.
And so someone tells you to cry because the great leader is this or the great leader is that, or cheer because the great, and you know, there's no context whatsoever.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Well, it's also the thing where there was a quote that Patton said, "It's a very thin line between fear and respect."
Mm.
And I don't care which my soldiers give me, as long as I get one of them.
Mm.
You know, type
That's
deal,
good.
because it means he was in control. Now, I've always argued with that. I always thought there was something that was different, but it's when you see that, I wonder how many of them were afraid not to show up, like someone would come knocking on their door.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking the whole time. Like, if we don't get our ass to this funeral today, or take a bullet trying to get to this funeral today, we're gonna take a fucking bullet. You know, or my wife is going to take a bullet, or my kids are going to take a bullet, or you know, they're going to be thrown in prison. And you know,
and in the middle of all that, they shut the trains down.
Yeah.
Right. I remember the when they were clearing the house out when they took the body.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they start going through and killing all the witnesses.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
One of the most bizarre thing, and it made me laugh out, I have to admit, was that when they put the truck up and all the doctors are being carted away, and the one, you know, officer raises his hand, and then his underling picks up the gun and shoots him.
Yeah, the guy in the black trench coat. Yeah.
And I went,
it's like the beginning of you remember in Batman when he's killing all the henchmen right down to the end, and it's actually the Joker.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I was like, it's I watched this and I'm going, oh my God. And I think that's what made it work. I think the fact of how many times as I said, oh my God, and kept watching, it kept me in.
It definitely did that for people who have no clue of what the Soviet Union was. They think it's just another country. It's just another America that we're against.
No,
and they had to set that up to the point where they're showing you at least the minimum, the bare minimum of hell that these people are going through.
Mm-hmm. There are countless books out there from Solzhenitsyn or some of the there's Michael Mann. I can't remember the guy's name off the top of my head. Who wrote? He was a Lutheran pastor who spent 14 years being kidnapped and tortured by the communists. And I mean, it was worse than the Reich, in my opinion. It was worse than the Third Reich, and that's the weird fucking thing about it. How the fuck do people think today that this is like a good thing?
They have really good marketing people.
It's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling. So, but what I was saying, when we get to the levels, once we get to the top, we start to get to the real bullies.
Right.
And I think the person who stole this movie was Beria.
Oh yeah.
The guy who plays.
I've ever seen him. I don't think I've seen him in anything else but this, and he does such a good job.
He's fantastic as just this demonic fucking thing. He's not even a human being. He's just a thing. Who just manipulate. When we talk about, like we saw in the video, that spirit of manipulation, he's just manipulated everybody, and he's a rapist, and he's a murderer, and he's a torturer. I mean, he is truly demonic.
Yep.
Like if you were just telling me that that's just a demon in like a person suit,
right?
I wouldn't have any trouble, not believing it. But the guy who plays him is just fantastic, and you got to give props to all these people that are in here. They're just really, really good. This is a fantastic film with fantastic performances. But at the top of the list, because we didn't get to see Stalin. Stalin dies kind of early on.
Yeah.
But Beria considers himself the heir apparent, whether in either in front of the camera or behind it.
Yeah.
And worse was he was trying to set himself up as the progressive, as the reformer, who was going to get rid of the Stalin era stuff, even though he was the worst one. But he had a whole plan to sell himself to the West as, a pro-West reformer. We're gonna, we're gonna clean this shit up, and
people were buying into the myth of what he was selling.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is a great picture that you picked, Mike, for it, is because when the guy brought in Michael Palin's wife, after all these years. And the first thing she says is she's asking for the guy.
Yes.
And he said, and he's like, he's trying to explain to her that guy's dead and she's not buying it. Yeah. Because she thinks he can do it.
And I'm positive that Beria had him killed.
Oh, absolutely.
He knows, for a fact that, he had that person murdered. Because like you said, there's this line in the movie, he goes, I remember everything. It's a gift.
Yeah. It's a bad habit of mine.
Yeah, it's a bad habit or something like that. Yeah, he remembers everything.
Everything.
I got this one point here, and I was listening to some points here, and it says, the guards wait 12 hours to call a doctor. Like they just stand outside and let him lay there in his own piss because everybody's terrified to make a decision.
Yep, absolutely.
You want to go in?
They let him lay there on the carpet in his own piss, dying.
They sure did.
Yep.
And what's the worst is in the middle of it all, Stalin regains consciousness. They show a little bit of this. Yeah. But what they didn't show was that Beria had been bad-mouthing Stalin as he was laying there. And they were trying to get their shit together between the Politburo. And when Stalin woke up, Beria started kissing his hands and begging for forgiveness because he all of a sudden thought, oh, Stalin's going to recover, and then he dies.
Of course.
It's I mean, he's just it's
dude, he's worse than you think, man.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he is.
You do he's exactly what I on Beria. There's never been a more twisted, evil, fucking perverted piece of shit on the planet, and he almost ran the Soviet Union. Not that Khrushchev was much better, but Beria was really, really bad.
If you told me that this guy possessed Emily Rose, I'd fucking believe it.
Mm-hmm. And when he shut the trains, when he shut the trains down to not allow people come in, and the reason why he was setting it up to change himself.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
I gotta say,
that was when we see what Jeffrey Isaacs come in.
Jason Isaacs
as Field Marshal Zhukov.
Zhukov
best performance in the movie. He's the best. He's the pimp in this. He's great.
That initial thing where he throws off the cloak and all the medals.
Yep.
Where can a war hero get some libation?
Jesus Christ. And he's just insulting. Yeah, he's just insulting everybody. Like, like they're just a bunch of fucking pansies, which they are. That's the funny thing about this. This is not like a band of, I don't know, supermen or something like that. They're a bunch of diseased, skinny, fear-filled, craven things. Like I said, it really felt like I was getting a behind-the-scenes look into Legion, like this pit of vipers that just snip and snap at each other, and if they could scratch their nails down someone's back, then they would do it, and you're just like...
Yeah, and then in comes this guy with the biggest cock in the room because he totally owns the Red Army, and he could roll over any one of them at any time. And it's just hilarious how he gets Khrushchev all wound up, where he's like, I'm going to have to report this conversation. It's like, oh, look at your fucking face.
John had a great point there. He's one of the few people that are just honest.
He looked. I mean, he goes, "I'm
He
here
can afford to
representing the
be.
Red
He has the
Army,
Red Army.
ladies. I'm gonna go. I'll meet you at the buffet." You know, what are you gonna do to me?
Mhm.
I love Jason Isaacs. He was great in Black Hawk Down. He was great in The
Yeah.
Patriot. I know, Bill, you've missed all the Harry Potter movies. He's great in those. I
Don't
haven't
care.
seen.
He was great in Entourage, and that's all that matters.
I never
This
saw
movie in
Entourage.
Yeah.
All right.
Mhm.
Yeah, I never watched that. All right. But I mean,
If
he's
you ever
yeah.
saw a soldier, he's a perfect prick in that movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Yeah, he is.
But it
And
was-
I'm told that this is actually, they had to tape down the medals. Like he literally, I think Zukov in real life had like 400 medals
Yes.
that put like on his chest or something like that. Yeah, just like it's like I said, it becomes a parody. It just becomes an absurdist thing, and you can see where like Kafka got his material from.
Oh God, yeah.
This is like a Kafka movie. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
That's what I was going to mention. It was that reminded me of an absurdist play.
Yeah.
Type deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on.
They wore the medals because they made them bulletproof.
Yeah. Except it's not absurd. It all happened.
Yeah, it all happened.
It.
Well, they said, I'm looking at this history versus Hollywood. Beria was arrested months later.
Well, yeah, they did
that didn't
condense
happen.
this. It looks like everything happened in the span of a few days, but it played out in about 8 months.
Wow.
But all of it happened. Like Stalin's son covered up the plane crash that killed most of the Olympic hockey
team. Yeah.
He literally did that. He was a nutball.
What did you think? Well, yeah, he's probably a psycho too, and it seemed like he was a raging alcoholic, so he probably wet-brained himself, and in the middle of
what's really strong about this movie is the fact that none of them tried to pull off a Russian accent. They all are doing accents, natural accents, but accents that would be theirs if they were speaking Russian. It's something that Wes Anderson did in Grand Budapest Hotel. Same thing,
right?
Where they're using dialects from their own country, but it would be how these characters would speak, like Zukov talking like some guy from Yorkshire, just a working class guy.
I think that worked for Buscemi a lot.
Yes.
With his dialogue and what have you, it made him not so much look sympathetic, but more heroic, or the
he seems like one of the. He seems like one of the few rational people in the movie. Now I don't think Khrushchev was exactly rational.
Well, how sane is Khrushchev going to look when his main opponent is fucking Lavrentiy Beria?
Yeah, Beria. Yeah, anybody would look like fucking Socrates.
It's different levels of insanity.
Yeah.
One of my favorite scenes, though, is when he wants to switch places with not Malenkov, the acting secretary. He just moves in front of him, and he's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" So funny.
That was so funny. I was like, "Oh my god."
Yeah, Jeffrey Tambor is great as the assistant secretary who becomes the secretary, but he's afraid to be the secretary.
Yeah,
because he's afraid of everybody. Like these people live in such fear. The only two people that seem to have any sort of grasp on anything are Khrushchev and Beria.
Yep.
Like everybody else is just like cowering. Like the one guy turns on his own wife. Repeatedly turning on his own wife. You find out at the end people have turned on their own brothers. I mean, we've read about this kind of stuff before. If you read Orwell, people turning on family members and children ratting out their parents. That kind of thing. But there's a great line in the movie. It's bending and cracking the truth like a human body. I mean, it's not even truth. I mean, it's just all lies. You're just living in this constant state of
You
deception.
saw the the first thing Beria did when Stalin was dead was he went through his desk, got all his keys, found his file, and burned them. Yeah. So there is no more truth. I mean, that's what the Soviet Union operated on. For Christ's sake, they used to disappear people out of history. They would not only kill them, but they would go back and find every picture that was taken of them and erase them out of the picture, find historical records and erase them out of historical records.
Well, that's what he tells Beria he's going to do to him. He goes, I'm going to erase you out of history.
Yeah.
After he kills him, he goes, I'm going to erase you out of fucking history. And he's just...
It's such a thorough lie. There was lies upon lies upon lies being told all through the Soviet Union. It's a wonder we know anything about it.
It's a hell of a thing. Again, another standout performance, though. Let me bring that back. I just had it here a second ago. Was the piano player.
Yes.
I loved her. She was, I mean, there are a couple of characters here that I really did like. I like Buscemi. I think Buscemi did a hell of a job. It's very understated compared to Beria until it's not. Until it's not, until fucking Khrushchev makes his move. And then sort of takes over and you find out like Beria is just a blubbering fucking mess. You know, begging not to be tortured, begging not to be shot. You know, I mean, it's completely predictable in a sense, because that's who these people at the top are. They're just a bunch of craven fucking, I don't know what, demoniacs.
She has the piano player has my favorite line right here.
Are there spelling mistakes?
No, when she says he looks so small.
Yeah. Yeah. And they both look at him. Great acting. They're just like, what?
Yeah.
She's fantastic. He just looks so small. You know, and I was like, yeah, you're right, actually. When they got him in the coffin, he didn't look that big.
This wasn't Brock Lesnar, you know, it was just some little evil, you know, fucking you know, Soviet guy who somehow managed to, I don't know. I don't even know how to describe what this guy did.
There's a great video on YouTube that goes through the history thumbnail. It's a history and film video, and it's so good because they lay out everything that you're going to see, and then takes you through the film. It's really, really interesting.
I have mixed feelings about this. I need to let it settle to decide if I ever, like, I don't own this, and usually most movies that I cover I own. Like, I'll pull out the Blu-ray or the DVD. Or I don't own this. I got to decide if I have the stomach for this again, because I just
watch it again.
I don't know. I got to see. I'm sure I can find it. I'm sure I can find a cheap used DVD. I'm not concerned about that.
It's probably good that you reacted this way, because either that or you're going to be like me, sitting in a theater giggling like a crazy person and surrounded by people who have no idea what they're looking at.
But you got the jokes. That's the point. You know, when you.
I got the jokes.
There was a waitress I worked with who turned around and said, every time I watched Monty Python and the Holy Grail, I never got it. Then I went to Stockton. Then I went to Stockton and took a class on medieval history. I watched it again and laughed my ass off.
There you go.
You know,
I never thought Monty Python was very funny either. I mean, that goes back to fourth grade, and like I got the jokes, but they weren't funny. I'm like, that's not funny. Like, you're trying to, like, that's not funny. And
I thought Michael Palin did a great job in this movie too.
Huh?
Michael Palin did a great job in this movie.
Oh yeah, Patty Constantine as the guy on the radio. I mean, there were Jeffrey Tambor as Malenkov, the guy who replaces Stalin. Who is in this? Hold on, let me run down the cast here instead of just
there's a bunch of
photos. Go ahead, John. What were you saying?
No, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking, Mike. No, there was a whole bunch of talent, even playing the minor parts.
I'll check this out.
Like in the recording session, and I've seen these guys on British television and British comedies. And the thing is, they also then do Shakespeare in the West End. You know, they get that sarcasm right. Type deal.
Well, let's see. What do we got? Patty Constantine, Adrian McLaughlin as Joseph Stalin, Simon Russell Beale as Beria, Jeffrey Tambor as Malenkov, Steve Buscemi as Khrushchev, Michael Palin as Molotov, the guy who turned in his own wife. Imagine being that fucking craven that you would just turn in your own fucking. I'm not even married. Like
and she literally never lost faith in Stalin, even though she went into prison and came back out, went back in, came back out again. And every time she went in, her husband denounced her. Every time she came out, her husband loved her.
It's hard to get your brain around. Like, I almost have a headache thinking about it. I really do. I don't know.
Molotov turned around and said, Stalin would love this.
Yeah.
At the end, when the whole insanity explodes and dragging him out, and he said, Stalin would love this. In my head, I went,
yes, he would.
He would.
Yeah, he would.
Yeah, he would.
Yes, he would.
Great scene right at the end when, after everything is settled, and Buscemi's taken over and he's at the theater. Lena Brezhnev behind him. Who was like a right-hand man to the field marshal for the whole time. You never notice it until you go back and watch it, but he's there the whole time.
The whole time.
He's just sitting behind him going, yep, you're about to go.
What happens to Khrushchev? He just gets deposed? They don't kill him. He gets
deposed and forced out. They were kind enough not to shoot him in the back of the head, but he was sort of deposed and made to house arrest in his dacha for the rest of his life.
They sent him to the Northern Front.
One of my favorite lines, and I forget who says it. He goes, "I've had nightmares that make more sense than this."
And to give a shout out to the actress who played Stalin's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
I really
hold on. I'll get her name.
That,
hold on. Oh God, what was? Oh jeez, I'm trying to find her name. No. It started with a. Hold on. What was her name? Svetlana.
Yeah.
Hold on.
When everyone's telling her, "I'll protect you, I'll protect you, I'll protect you," and
Andrea Riceborough.
Okay, well at least you found it. All right.
Yeah.
No, when
got it.
When the general punches her brother and she looks at Buscemi and goes, that's harm. That's what I want. But at the very end, she gives the saddest line when she said, "I never thought it would be you." And I sat there and I went, wow. Just the way she just undersold and just went, I never thought it would be you. That you'd be the one.
The way Buscemi plays it, he plays it as somebody who doesn't seem to be overtly ambitious.
Right.
But he's smart enough. Like they have that whole thing where he goes home every night and he tells his wife exactly what he said the whole day.
Right.
So he can be prepared for tomorrow when somebody tries to trap him in his words. It's like the Pharisees in Jesus. Story. They're going to try to trap you, so I have to tell my wife everything that I said. She's going to write it down so I can think all night on how to prepare a response for what they're going to come back at me with the next day.
Mm-hmm.
It's unfucking believable.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit, it's unbelievable.
Yep.
And yet, here we are.
Yeah.
And yet, not surprising. Sadly.
And that's the only way that you get to see it is through comedy and farce. So
because otherwise you would just
and play it off as if
Right.
it's not real.
Yeah.
When we see Soviets in popular culture, it's like that sniper movie with
Jude Law.
Jude Law, where he's a hero. It's
right.
Reds with Warren Beatty. We don't see or it's the Wolverines and just that faceless sort of evil guy,
the Cuban dude.
At the height of the Cold War, where the Red Menace. You never see a movie where they get into the details of it like this, except in comedy.
Yeah, it's gotten a convenient pass, man. The Reich gets all the smoke. You know, they get all the big production, usually from Jewish, producers or whatever, who just seem to want to make it known. Yeah, this shit happened. Like, keep your ear to the ground, because we don't want this shit coming back. But communism seems to get a convenient, I'm looking the other way kind of thing. Like there are no movies about Mao. That's even worse. I think he's even worse than Stalin.
It is. But it's one of those movies where you go, how did this get made? It's kind of like the first season of The Boys, or what was the movie I was just thinking of? I can't remember. Tropic Thunder. You're like, how the fuck did this get made?
It's almost got to slip under the radar.
Yeah.
There's an interesting movie I saw by Angel Studios. It was about a guy who had survived the Cultural Revolution, came to America, and became like a prominent surgeon and a doctor, and became a man of faith. But it showed some of what happened during the Cultural Revolution and what students were suddenly just doing to, the older generation or to anybody else. Because there's a huge, I don't even know if this is, it's not a strong enough word, but I can't think of another word for it off the top of my head. There's a bullying factor to this. And I remember that saying that, I think it was, again, Jordan Peterson, he said, everybody thinks that they're going to be, if this shit happens, like they're going to be the person that hides Anne Frank in their attic. And she's like, no, you're not. He's like, you're not. He goes, you're going to keep your head down at best and try to survive. He goes, some people are going to participate. And he goes, and then you're going to find some people who are going to participate and they're going to enjoy it.
Who you were in 2020 is exactly who you would be during World War II,
Yeah.
Yeah. Mike, if you get a chance to find it, because I already started looking for it after you mentioned it.
What's up?
There was a 2-part movie back in the days when HBO used to make movies in the 90s.
Sure. Yeah, HBO movie. I remember.
On Stalin, where Robert Duvall played.
Robert Duvall. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's on HBO.
I don't know if you guys saw it. I don't know if you guys saw it, but Chernobyl was a really good serious description of the type of frozen thinking that led to that meltdown, because people were like, no, it can't be failing, it's Soviet, because they were afraid to say that there was a problem. That was a really, really good, well done, serious, dramatic sort of illustration of the Soviet sort of that thing where the voices come from.
The character played by Jared Harris, I think he eventually hung himself. In real life, I think he hung himself. And Stellan Skarsgård, as always, turning in 7 stars out of 5. He never seems to get it wrong. Fantastic character actor. All right. Is there any? I mean, God knows we could just go on and on and on, but within
reason, on Soviets all night.
Yeah. Same. I guess. Yeah. I got some catching up to do on my reading. I just saw something Charlie Kirk was saying the other day. He says, if you're not reading 100 books a year, you're not. It was an old video, and somebody was like trying to talk to him rationally. It was like, he was at the table, a guy walked in, he challenged him a little bit. But he's like, I don't want to argue. Let's just talk. And I think Charlie Cook said, if you're not reading 100 books a year, you're not serious. He goes, that's money you could be spending. You could save money on booze and drugs and hitting the bar and going to the club, buy some fucking books, and that's a worthwhile investment of your time. So I'm behind. I'm definitely behind on my reading. No one's more behind than I am these days. But I got to get that shit back in gear. All right. Is there anything about this movie, and if you want to continue, we can, that we have not discussed or any points that you would like to get into?
See it again, watch it again, and get the humor, because you're missing a giggle fest. It is funny.
I don't know if I want to laugh. I don't know if I think that Jordan Peterson thing about where the actual voice is coming from, just like, I think it'll ruin any chance of finding it funny.
You're taking it a little too seriously.
Yeah,
It's
maybe I am.
a
Maybe
good
I am.
movie to laugh at.
Maybe I'll look at it again.
I think it's a little bit of the sugar to make the medicine go down.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I totally get it. I totally get it. Because
Yeah.
otherwise, you'd have something 10 times worse than Schindler's List. You know, and I get it. I get it. But
and
maybe
more
somewhere
times I
down the
said,
road.
"Oh, I'm sorry, Mike. Go ahead."
No, I said maybe somewhere down the road, or maybe even after this, I'll see if I can find a cheap used copy on Amazon for $5 or something like that. And just sit it on the shelf, and one day I'll get to it. Leave it at that.
Yeah. As many times as I said I laughed at this movie, there were more times I went, "Oh, Jesus."
It's
Like
bad.
that.
Like when who was it? Does Beria kidnap the maid?
Either kidnaps her or kills her.
No, who's that young girl that he?
Oh, that was Barria used to take 14-year-old girls,
Yeah,
throw them in a prison for a day, and then pull them out and
then
rape them,
like her
and then
parents
kill
are
them.
waiting for her, you know,
Yeah.
outside the gate, and they give her to the parents, and the girl's just got her head down, like, you know why, you know, and you're just and like the guard hands the parents the flowers.
Yep.
You know, it's just a slap in the fucking face.
Yep.
Yeah, we raped your daughter.
Right.
Here's some flowers. You know, I mean.
Well, the lucky ones went back to their parents. They found a bunch of bodies under his fucking badger.
I don't doubt it. It was fucking serious. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a whole ruling class of serial killers. You know,
if you don't want to do the reading, there's a brilliant Cold War podcast called "The Cold War: What We Saw" by a guy named Bill Whittle. It is fantastic.
Do me a favor.
It'll take you from World War II right up through Vietnam and into modern day, all the shit we lived through.
Text that to me.
Okay.
Text me the title. I won't remember. All right. Is there anything that we have not discussed that you'd like to get into? Way better dead than red. John K. Alvarez. Go ahead.
I'd like to give a shout out to all the extras in this movie.
Sure.
Because they were not just background pieces. I keep coming to the fact when the one guy says, "Hail Stalin," and they shot him because they said he was dead, and they went to the next guy, and they stopped, and as they continued with the dialogue, I'm watching at the guy who did not get shot, and I looked at his face, and then when he ran out the door.
Yeah.
I sat down, I'm like, that's the story I wanted to see next.
Yeah.
The guy who was that close to getting shot.
The guy that walks back into his home and his wife and his son are there.
Yeah.
They can't believe it. Like his face is fucked up because they've been beating his ass. You know, but he just walks through the front door again, and they're like, "What the fuck?" Like, I guess his wife figured she'd never see him again, and his son doesn't even know what to do.
That was well done. That stuff could have been easily just thrown away or made into a cheap joke, and I went, that was nicely done.
Yeah. Okay, let's get to the part in the scene where we rate the film. This channel has a rating system that goes from 0 to 5 up by halves. So 0, 0.5, 1, 1.5, all the way to 5. So 0, for example, would be I'd rather have diarrhea on my wedding night than watch this movie again. All the way to 5, which is this is the journey, this is the destination, this is why I watch films in the first place. Way better dead than red. What would you give Armando Iannucci's The Death of Stalin?
I give it a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This guy is brilliant. This is one of the 10 best movies I've seen in the 2000s. It is incredible. And Iannucci is a comedic genius. I hope he makes more stuff.
Okay. All right. So we got 5. More than 4, less than 6. 5. John K. Alvarez, what do you got for us?
You know what?
Uh-oh. Why did you have to freeze like that, John?
What is it?
He's afraid. He doesn't know what to say. What did everybody else say?
It's a communist plot to stop my score. That's what it is.
John, you better be sure. You want me to go next?
Man.
You give it a 5? Okay, are you sure? Because I haven't given my vote yet. I love that when they're taking the vote and like they wait to see if everybody else's hand is.
Unanimous.
Unanimous. I'm giving it a 5 because after the discussion, I want to see it again.
There you go.
Okay.
And that's
Okay.
that's the draw to me.
Okay. All right. So, John, you're going to be fine. You're going to be safe, John. You're going to be safe.
I'm going to be okay.
Yeah, you're going to be all right.
I vote with the party.
Yeah, there's no factionalism, John. No factionalism. So, all right. So I'm going with a 5.
There you go.
It's just like you said, you need a lot of sugar to make this medicine go down, man. It was not an easy watch for me, not because I didn't understand it, not because the performances weren't fantastic, not because the story isn't or is bloated or anything like that. It's just, like I said, you understand where I think the voices come from, and that's hard to look at. It's just, it's not pleasant to look at. I didn't find it pleasant to look at. However, I did derive some satisfaction by the time things turned on Beria. Because as awful as everybody else was, he was the absolute worst.
Exactly.
He was the absolute worst. And so when they just grabbed him and took his belt, Jason, take his belt off. He can't go anywhere. I feel like he's got no pants on or something like that. And they just stepped in and they're like, we've had enough of this motherfucker. And somebody else said, I was daydreaming this for 30 years, of just, fucking shooting Beria, which is funny because like no one ever just independently thought to pull out a fucking gun and just shoot somebody.
That would
you know what I mean? It would take individualism.
Yeah.
It would take individualism, and this is collectivism to the, to a satanic degree. Nobody can step outside the line. But I mean, today, it was funny. I was at a seminar this weekend for martial arts, and it was today, in America, we're the individuals. So someone would have just taken out a gun and said, bang, enough of this motherfucker.
Just like the general eventually did.
Yeah. So as close to an individual maybe as we were ever going to get in that story. But yeah,
exactly.
I'm going with a 5. Going with a 5.
Got it.
All right. Way better dead than red. Plug something. Anything going on?
Man, I got nothing to plug right now. Back in the shed, practicing with Soup Sandwich, looking for gigs. Hopefully we'll be playing somewhere on the Jersey Shore very, very soon, but look for us. Soup Sandwich, surf rock, like you like it.
You should show up tomorrow at the Stone Pony. All of you. We're on. We're the good old boys. You're the good old. Yeah, we're the good old
boys, brothers band
from Chicago.
Yeah.
You're gonna look real funny. You're gonna look.
Just remember, the first round's free. After that, you got to pay for it.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll take a collection up with the band.
What was that line? You're gonna look real funny trying to eat corn on the cob with no fucking teeth. All right, John K. Alvarez, you got something for us? Anything this week?
You know what? Since you're on TikTok, Mike.
Yeah.
I've place where I work has possibly made me an offer with the upcoming holiday season.
Yes. Yeah.
There's a good chance I may be playing a jolly old elf.
Is that
on TikTok for him.
Okay.
So if that happens, I will let you know.
Please do, because at first I thought you were talking about Halloween, and I'm like, there are no fucking elves on Halloween. So yeah, what are you talking about?
No, they won't let me do it.
There he goes again. They've cut him off.
Oh no. There's a reason Pinochet used to throw him out of helicopters.
Yeah, exactly.
Shit like this.
Yep, silenced. We're gonna have to record the whole thing again. Bring these two people back in the stream.
Right. This is it now. They're out to get us. They're out to stop us now, man.
God bless America, man. We don't have to worry about this kind of shit, and I hope we never have to. Well, you know what I mean. All right. For this channel, I'll be catching up with Way Better Dead Than Red tomorrow at 10th Avenue Burrito. Looking to maybe grab a margarita. I got to drive, and we'll see how that goes. But it'll be good to catch up and see him. It's been a couple of years, I think. Since confirmation, I don't think I've seen you.
Yeah, it's been a while.
That's good. 3 years. It's been 3 years face to face. What else? Melvin's tomorrow night, so that's going to be great at the Stone Pony. Next week, okay.
We're in October next week, Mike. What are we doing?
We are in October next week, and the Halloween season is upon us. We are kicking off our theme, which is going to be ghost stories and haunted houses. Now, next week, we're going to be doing a late show next Thursday. So I don't know who's, because Rod is coming back. And so it's the return of Rod. We haven't seen Rod probably in close to a year, maybe a little bit more than a year. And Rod will be here with us to kick off the Halloween season and it's going to be between 1 or 2 movies. It's either going to be Guillermo del Toro's The Devil's Backbone. And Eric is going to join us for this one because he also has a copy as well. Plus, Eric lives in the next time zone over, so it's only 9 o'clock for him. Or it's going to be the first Paranormal Activity. So I left it up to Rod to decide, but I got to push Rod a little bit because we need to make a call on that. Yeah, hold on a second. We got a comment here, and it is Eric from Hey Internet. Eric here. And he says, "Return of Rod. No more Children of the Corner. Blackula, though. Yeah, that's absolutely.
When the fuck did we do Blackula?
A couple of years ago.
Oh, dude, you missed the whole.
You missed Blackula?
Oh man!
Oh, you've Rod. Yeah, Rod wanted to do Blackula. It was interesting. I mean, it's an interesting concept.
We're going to do that with Vampire in Brooklyn.
Yeah, we're not doing not on this channel.
Interesting now.
Yeah.
There you go.
So it'll be one of those or the other next Thursday. Paranormal or Devil's Backbone next Thursday. But if not one, then the other a week after that. And then we have Ringu, which we're going to cover. And then we have Ju-on. Which was the Japanese premise for the American remake, The Grudge, with Sarah Michelle Gellar. And Eric says, I was there with Rod and Mike discussing Blackula as the token white boy on the panel. That's right.
There you go.
That's right. So, but we were positive that Eric did not feel any white guilt because we don't do that bullshit on this channel. So it's just always good to have Eric on, as it's good to have all of you. All right, that is it for this show. We will be back next Thursday with either Paranormal Activity or The Devil's Backbone. I got to push Rod on that. We will see you all in the next video. All right, take care, everyone. God bless you.
Peace.